Shotguns are a love them or hate them type of gun in Call of Duty. They take a certain play style to use effectively, and a lot of people prefer to avoid them, but over the years, there have been a lot of great shotties to choose from. And yes, this is the ranking series. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. We're going to rank every single one of them, but it's going to be two parts because there are 78 shotguns. That's right. We're going to rank all 78 in Call of Duty multiplayer history from COD 4 all the way to Modern Warfare 3 2023. Keep in mind, we're only going to be counting weapons if they were officially classified in-game as a shotgun, meaning underbarrel and pistol shotguns are not going to count. So you let me know if you guys like these massive ranking videos, and you can tell me your favorites. We're going to do this as part 1. Part 2 will be at the top link in the description when it goes up. So we're going to start at the absolute worst. At number 78, the World at War double-barreled shotgun. It gets the prize. Easily the worst shotgun in COD history, right? It had some good gibbing effects, but the actual stats were terrible. The ammo capacity was obviously terrible, and the reload speeds were slow, but on top of all that, Treyarch didn't even have the decency to give you a great one-shot kill range or anything like that. It wasn't uncommon to just get hit markers with this shotgun, and then your opponent blew you back to the lobby while you were reloading. The double barrel may have looked and sounded cool, and it was super satisfying to blow somebody's leg off, but at the end of the day, it was statistically a terrible weapon, and certainly bottom tier. At number 78, Black Ops Olympia, one of the most infamous shotguns in COD history due to how bad it was. It was the over-under shotgun that could get a one-shot kill at point-blank range, and that was it. It didn't have any attachments. The range wasn't good. If you aimed down the sights, it didn't actually make the gun any more accurate like other shotties in Call of Duty. It was hot doo-doo. It was. I know it has this weird fan club, but I'm not listening. I've tuned you out. This gun sucked. That's why it's here at number 77. Move on, guys. We're giving away a PS5 at 2.8 million subs. That's right. Somebody on this channel that watches these videos is going to win a PS5. It's simple to enter. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Comment your Twitter handle. That's important because if you win, I have to be able to get hold of you and follow me over on Twitter. The details are the top pinned comment on the video, and there's a bonus entry in those details as well. At number 76, Advanced Warfare's Blunderbuss. Now, in this gun's defense, it was never meant to be good. It was supposed to be a joke weapon, a troll that you didn't actually take seriously. That being said, it wasn't good. It looked cool. The reload animation was awesome the first time, but the range was terrible and the damage wasn't actually high enough to guarantee the one-shot kill, despite locking you into this extremely long reload animation every time you pulled the trigger. It wasn't good. I know. That was the point, but I have to put it somewhere on this list, so here it is. At number 75, COD World War II Sawed-Off Shotgun. Sawed-off shotguns are awesome, but the COD World War II version is not. 2 shells that barely do any damage, and then you're locked into the super long reload animation that remains super long even if you're running the hustle perk to speed it up. The range was embarrassing. It wasn't uncommon for you to get 2 hit markers instead of actually killing the target, which should never be the case and never happen with a double barrel weapon like this. 74. World at War's Trench Gun. I mean, you call this gun one of the worst in COD history. I'm with you. I agree. The World at War Trench Gun was a standard pump-action shotgun with no damage, no range, and it simply could not keep up with the other guns in the game. It couldn't, not with the map design that World at War utilized. The maps in this game were big, they were wide open, they were sprawling, not exactly the kind of thing that shotguns work well in. This thing sucked. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me on this one, so we're going to move on. At number 73, COD World War II's Blunderbuss. Believe it or not, I actually think this gimmick weapon is better than the handful of shotguns we talked about. That doesn't mean it's good. Obviously, it's at number 73. But I do think it's funny that this gun isn't actually supposed to be good, and yet here it is. Not the worst. It's basically the same as the Advanced Warfare version, but the boots-on-the-ground gameplay and the lack of weapon variants made it slightly more viable than its older brother. Yes, it sucked, but it didn't suck quite as hard as it did before. At number 72, Modern Warfare 3 2023's Lockwood 680. A lot of COD players hated the Model 680 in Modern Warfare 2019, so you would think that it would get a little buff when it was brought back in MW3's the Lockwood. You would be wrong. It actually got nerfed. The Lockwood was a pump-action shotgun that carried only 6 shells by default, really didn't have many attachments to make it better. It was kind of clunky, kind of inconsistent. The poor ammo capacity, it kind of killed it. Maybe I'm harsh, but I thought it was bad. At number 71, Black Ops 2's S12. Despite Black Ops 2 having some really good weapon balance, The S12 was widely seen as underpowered. It was a semi-auto shotgun with a great rate of fire but horrendous damage and horrible range, all on top of a painfully long reload animation. The S12 was completely useless outside the hardcore modes, and as you guys know, well, about me, if you don't know, I don't factor hardcore into these big ranking lists because literally anything can be good in hardcore. It doesn't count. This gun sucked. At number 70, the Modern Warfare 2019 Model 680. Now, many people called this one of the worst guns in Modern Warfare because of its terrible fire rate and the inconsistent damage. Despite having a very slow rate of fire compared to other shotguns, the one-shot kill consistency wasn't very good, so it often felt like using this gun was a waste of time. And we're not even going to talk about how bad it was in Warzone. At number 69, COD 4's W1200 had to be one of the most awkward pump shotties in COD history. There was something about the recoil and the hip fire spread that made the gun feel clunky. It also didn't help matters. You could carry 4 shells at a time, and they all had to be reloaded individually. The power was there, yes, but you weren't going to get many chances to drop somebody in a single shot. The handling was weird. The ammo capacity, it was low, and in maps like COD 4, it just wasn't friendly. At number 68, Modern Warfare 3 2011's AA-12. This has to be one of the biggest game-to-game nerfs in COD history. The AA-12 in Modern Warfare 2 is amazing. We'll talk about it way down the road. But the Modern Warfare 3 version is terrible. Super heavy, the reload animation took forever, and the damage wasn't nearly high as enough as it should have been like the previous game, meaning there was basically no reason to use this outside of just finishing your challenges. I also hated the look of the AA-12 in Modern Warfare 3. I have no idea why the gun was butchered so badly from game to game, but yeah, here it is in the power rankings at number 68. At number 67, the Black Ops HS-10 semi-auto shotty, lots of potential, and it was the only shotgun in the original Black Ops that could be dual-wielded, but ultimately, it's not that good. Horrible range, low ammo capacity, did have some spraying potential. You were constantly going to be reloading, though, and those movement penalties were not worth the number of hit markers you would get before you drop somebody. Don't think about running it in akimbo mode. It didn't make it better. It actually made it worse. The gun sucked. I know you felt awesome doing it, but in practice, it sucked. At number 66, the COD 4 M1014. I've seen some people swear that this thing was underrated. I don't see it. Semi-auto shotty. It did have some great killing power, but the range was really short, and it had that long reload animation, could only hold 4 shells at once. I guess on the really small maps you could get some work done, but it was a pretty niche weapon. I don't actually think it was better than low tier in COD 4. At number 65, COD World War II's M30. Bit more killing power than the sawed-off shotgun, but most of the fatal flaws are the same. I know I sound like I'm on repeat, but the damage wasn't there, the ammo capacity was low, and the reload animation, yes, took forever for no good reason. Few things were more frustrating than firing at somebody twice with the M30, getting 2 hit markers before getting locked into a long reload animation that just got you sent back to the lobby. At number 64, the Black Ops 4 Rampage spray and pray machine. And if you were into that sort of thing, you probably had a lot of fun with this in a game like Black Ops 4 where the time to kill was longer. It could get frustrating with hit markers. I mean, I know, it was awesome in hardcore, but I think you guys know, once again, I'm not trying to talk about hardcore for everything here. So it was annoying to go up against the Black Ops 4 Rampage, but ultimately, I don't think it was very good. At number 63, Vanguard's Double Barrel. Now, double barrel shotguns are extremely hit or miss, and the double barrel in Vanguard did have a handful of cheesy builds throughout the months, but I don't think the base game actually had much going for it. When you strip away the 10 attachment gunsmith and the broken attachment that got nerfed eventually, what you were left with was a double barrel shotgun that had bad ammo capacity and would often get you blown apart by enemies using fully automatic rifles. It just wasn't good. Regardless of the cheesy builds that you see on TikTok, it wasn't good. At number 62, COD Ghost MTS 255. Now, it did have solid DPS for a shotty, thanks to the relatively high fire rate, but that low ammo capacity and the wide open map design of Ghost would kick you in your butt. You're going to see a lot of Ghost shotguns over the next minute or two, mainly due to the fact that the map design just did not work with a weapon like this or a weapon class like this. It didn't. At number 61, Advanced Warfare's S12. Slightly better than the Black Ops 2 version due to the advanced movement, but the stats, they were just absent. The damage was low, fire rate made up for it a little bit. I mean, you were almost always going to be outgunned by the rifles and the SMGs anyway, so why even use it? At number 60, COD Ghost FP6. Do you even remember this shotgun? It could get you some quick kills, but then again, it couldn't. I mean, this is COD Ghost. What couldn't get you quick kills? It wasn't insultingly bad or anything, but you could do better. And I don't really have anything else to say about it. It was a forgettable gun. At number 59, COD World War II's toggle action. When COD World War II launched, I think a lot of us were worried that this gun was going to be the new 205 Brecci, but thankfully, it wasn't. Semi-auto shotty, moderate damage, moderate rate of fire. It hovered around that mid-tier in COD World War II, and I think it belongs there on this list. Not bottom tier, not high tier. All in all, I think we're kind of in the mid-tiers right now. At number 58, Ghost's TAC-12. Now look, another Ghost shotgun. It was beefy for sure, and it was satisfying to get one-shot kills with, but just like the other shotties in the game, it greatly suffered from being in a game where the maps were huge and the close-range combat was not common. I'm sure some of you had fun with it, but when compared to everything else in COD history, here we sit at number 58. At number 57, Modern Warfare 2 2022, the Expedite 12, supposed to be the new version of the M1014. And while I think it was better than the COD 4 version, that's not saying a lot. There's some helpful attachments. It wasn't horrible, but I don't think the community was super hyped about it. And keep in mind, the last few years of Call of Duty have been weird for shotguns because of the gunsmith system. Most of the Call of Duty shotguns since 2020 or 2021 have been average on paper, but then breakable with attachments. Makes them pretty hard to compare to everything else in the big scheme of things, but I'm trying. Keep in mind, when we go through Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 shotguns, I'm sure plenty of these guns had busted builds at one point or another. But for this list, we're trying to look at the overall power and potential when compared to everything else in COD history. It's not easy. Let's keep going. There's a lot left. At number 56, COD Ghost's Bulldog. Honestly, I think this was the only shotgun in Ghost that was worth using. Still wasn't great, but it was worth it. Semi-auto, solid damage, good fire rate, but since it's in a game like Ghost, once again, where the maps are huge, time to kill was quick, it was at a severe disadvantage compared to all the rifles and the SMGs. Heck, I'd even use a pistol over the Bulldog at some times. I mean, the pistol had decent range. Yes, it was the best shotgun in Call of Duty Ghost. That doesn't make it good in the grand scheme of things. Shotguns in this game were just kind of crappy all around. But if I had to pick one, I'd go with the Bulldog. At number 55, Modern Warfare 3 2023, the Riveter. Full auto shotgun could definitely get on your nerves if you were on the receiving end, but I never felt like it was actually that powerful. Had insane ammo capacity, which is good. Had a decent fire rate, but the damage in the range, it left something to be desired. It was fun, definitely a bit goofy, but ultimately mid-tier, middle of the road for a COD shotgun. At number 54, the Modern Warfare 2 2022 KV Broadside. Semi-auto shotgun, very high fire rate cap, and actually that came with drawbacks. You had the weight, the reload time, and the kick. You could load it up with attachments, yes, take care of those drawbacks, but at that point, just use a different weapon, you know? Not a whole lot to say about the gun. I mean, other than it's being number 54 out of 78, which, that's not horrible. At number 53, Black Ops 2's M1216. This gun was weird. Full auto shotty, fired 4 shots before having to be rotated like a rotisserie chicken. The damage it pumped out was pretty good, but the downtime during the rotations could get you in big trouble. A lot of people thought it sucked. A lot of other people thought it was underrated. I think overall, it's middle of the pack in Black Ops 2 and middle of the pack in this video. Probably be put in the lower half of mid-tier compared to other COD shotguns. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. At number 52, the Advanced Warfare Bulldog. Now, it did have some cheesy playstyles, and every once in a while, you'd see somebody go off with it, but it still wasn't popular. The DPS was good, and since you had an exosuit, you could close that gap pretty easily. But with longer range weapons that were more effective in the game, and much like the Ghost Bulldog, it was decent. It just mainly struggled due to the mechanics of the game. At number 51, Modern Warfare 2 2022, the Bryson 890. This pump action was pretty standard but reliable. Wasn't going to blow you away with insane stats or anything, but it could get the job done. I mean, that's all you could ask for a weapon. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. I'm just going to move on. Now we've made it to number 50. The Black Ops 3 Haymaker 12. Full auto shotty. Fun to mess around with. Super easy to use, but not high tier. Magazine was big. Fire rate was high. Recoil was low for a full auto shotgun, but that damage was low. Kept it balanced. We're in the top 50 now. And I think moving forward, basically everything on this list will be viable, but not mind-blowing just yet. So try not to take it personally if one of your favorite shotguns is in this next section of the video, because they had to go somewhere. At number 49, the Infinite Warfare DCM-8. Almost identical to the Haymaker in terms of stats and playstyle. Full auto shotty. Took a lot of shots to kill, but it also had solid fire rates, relatively low recoil, big magazine, quick reload animation. It was very easy to use, but it wasn't that powerful, which I guess that's a balance. It was popular because it was easy to use, but in terms of stats, here it sits. At number 48, I'm going to get some heat for this one. Advanced Warfare's TAC-19. Very unique pump-action shotgun. It could get some one-shot kills pretty effectively, but it was hard to get follow-ups because of the fire rate. So if you were able to get one-shot kills every time you pulled the trigger, it was great. But that didn't happen nearly as often as you probably would have liked. Then again, doesn't that describe every pump-action shotgun? I mean, I had to put it somewhere. Isn't this the Sonic Boom shotgun? There's a lot of clips on it, but yeah. At number 47, the Modern Warfare 2 2022 MX Guardian. This gun was added to the game as DLC a few months after launch, and it was fully automatic, 15 shell default capacity, which was really, really nice. It was a lot like the Black Ops 3 Haymaker in the sense that it was extremely easy to use and definitely viable, but probably not high tier when you took everything into consideration. At number 46, Modern Warfare 2019's 725. Now, I know the gun was busted when the game came out, but now it's just a high-tier shotgun. Has some drawbacks, limited ammo capacity, makes up for it with the insane range and the abundance of great attachments and builds. I think it's fair for 2024. If we were going to do the pre-patch shotguns for the list, I know it would probably be top 5. At number 45, the Modern Warfare 2 2022 Bryson 800. Pump-action shotty, much like the Bryson 890. It's pretty simple, but also perfectly reliable. Would get the job done if you stuck to close quarters, which any shotgun should, right? It wasn't going to give you too many frustrating hit markers, but also wasn't going to be cross-mapping anybody either. But don't worry. The really crazy shotguns are coming soon. We just have to dig through all these mid-tiers first. At number 44, Modern Warfare 2019, the VLK Rogue. Now, the community was split on this gun because on one hand, it was mobile, very fast firing, but on the other hand, the damage felt inconsistent, and it was pretty clearly outclassed by other shotguns. I think it's fair at 44, but overall, I just tend to be a bit more forgiving of this gun than a lot of other people in the community. I'm not sure why it is, but I am. At number 43, the Vanguard Gracie Auto. Semi-auto spray machine, yes. I mean, pretty decent damage for a weapon of its kind, but it only carried 5 shells at a time. Granted, the damage of those 5 shells was really, really juicy, and it was one of the more popular guns in Vanguard or shotguns, but as many of you probably know, popularity doesn't always equal power. And even though a lot of people use the Gracie Auto, I would still call it mid-tier compared to the others that are left. At number 42, the Infinite Warfare Reaver. Semi-auto shotgun, low damage per shot, but a very, very high fire rate and a quick reload animation, so you could spray and pray till your little heart was content. Plus, there were some fun variants like the one that made your enemies explode when you punch them. I actually remember there being quite a few people who used that variant of the Reaver as a melee weapon because the kill effects were really, really cool. Yeah, that takes me back. At number 41, the Modern Warfare 2019 Jack 12. This was the new version of the AA-12, and while it did have some insane attachments and potential, it was heavy, it was clunky, and it was nowhere near as busted as some of the other AA-12s in COD history. It could be frustrating to go up against, yes, and if you knew what you were doing, it could be devastating. I guess that's the magic of the gunsmith. It's not a dignified weapon to use, but it wasn't bad. At number 40, the Black Ops Cold War Howard 77. Gun was up and down more than any other shotgun in recent memory. In the beta, amazing. Full game launched, nerfed. It resembled the classic trench gun, was capable of a one-shot kill if you were close and you aimed high, but most of the time, it was intended to kill in 2 shots or to finish an enemy off that was already weak. I throw it here, to be fair. It was satisfying. It was. It just wasn't the best on paper. At number 38, the Modern Warfare 2019 Origin 12. Semi-auto spray and pray shotgun, lots of fun to use, naturally had lower damage than slower firing weapons, but with things like drum magazines and extended barrels, yeah, you could get work done. The smaller maps could be dominated with the Origin 12, but if you were anywhere other than small maps, it definitely struggled. At number 38, the Advanced Warfare Cell 3 Cauterizer. This was one of the DLC guns for Advanced Warfare, and it was one of the least remembered, but I don't think it was because it was bad. In fact, I think it was actually really good compared to other shotguns in the game, but it was different. Full auto, 16-round default mag, very high damage, but the catch was the range was super short. So if you got up close, you could hold down the trigger and blow people. You would erase them. But if the enemy player backed up, it was useless. So it was a bit of a give and take, but ultimately, I think this was a better shotgun of choice than all of the other Advanced Warfare shotguns. At number 37, Black Ops Cold War's 410 Ironhide, one of the less popular shotties in the game, but it did have potential. It was a lot harder to use effectively than others. Other shotguns wouldn't take nearly as much time to get good, nor did they need nearly as many attachments as the Ironhide did to be effective. but it was fun to use. And if you kitted it fully out, hats off to you. In the final gun on part 1 of ranking every single shotgun in COD history, at number 36, the Black Ops 3 Olympia. Honestly, I'm shocked at myself for ranking this gun so high. The original Olympia was hot garbage, but the Black Ops 3 remake, it was okay. It was decent. The damage and range were greatly improved from the original. Treyarch actually let you put attachments on it this time, which was a plus. Remember, I ranked the original Olympia all the way down at number 77. So there was a huge buff when it was brought back to Black Ops 3, and it was much needed. And there you have it, my friends. This will go up, and you will get the part 1 in the next day or two after this goes up. It will be in the description, so I encourage you, if you made it all the way through this, go check out part 1, and we will go from number 35 all the way to 1. And if you enjoy these massive ranking videos, let me know which one you would like to see next. I'll see you soon.